I'm the founder of Protea Financial. Episode 38. It's hard to believe that I am on week 38. 38 straight weeks of coming to you live, or sometimes recorded just because I've got a busy schedule, but 38th week in a row where I've come to you to have a discussion on this channel, Protea Academy, and just talk about topics that I feel like are important or top of mind. And today we're going to continue that, and it's going to be a continuation of the discussion that we had last week, which, if you remember, if you've been paying attention, last week we spent a lot of time on going over what is a CFO. I wanted to delve into the topic of what is a CFO because unfortunately there's still a lot of miscommunication out there. And unfortunately, a lot of that miscommunication comes from us accountants ourselves. So it was very important for me to make it very clear to you all that a CFO is a strategic partner. If your CFO is capturing bank transactions, there's a very good chance they're not a CFO, or you're paying way, way, way too much for very simple accounting work. And I wanted to bring this out because, sometimes I get the message, hey, can you help our client as a CFO? And I'm like, no, not at all. We are not a CFO. At Protea, we provide outsourced accounting, CAS services to the wine and alcohol beverage industries. We focus our time from the bookkeeping work through to the controllership, as well as some FP&A work. We also are in the unique situation where we do cost accounting, and cost accounting doesn't really fit into those pure definitions that the AICPA are putting out on terms of what is client advisory services. But it is something that we spend a lot of time on because it does look at historical, but it really is now, as well as being used as a planning tool because you need to understand your cost to be able to set your prices. So it's one of those that sort of encompass a lot of areas. I did spend a lot of time last week, though, as well, going over what is the difference between a controller and CFO. And the idea behind that was to make sure that you understand that there is this differentiation between the person who's controlling your operational accounting, make sure your controls in place and the functionality of finance team is moving forward, versus this person who's taking the information from the controller and using it to communicate to C-level executives what's happening in the business and use that information to drive decisions about the business after the fact. Very different. One is operational, one is strategic. CFO, strategic. We, not that. Now, I will say we sort of, flutter around the edges of what a CFO does. We have those conversations with our clients about the information and what it means for their business. We'll provide them with the information that should allow them to make those decisions. But we're not the ones making the decision at the end of the day. At best, we're providing suggestions to our client, or at least a couple of options, and allowing them to make a decision from there. We work in unique teams. At Protea, every project gets at least 3 team members. We call them an account manager, a senior, and a junior. If you're a business owner, think about it this way. You have a bookkeeper, a senior accountant, and a controller. And we think this system works really well because it allows our bookkeepers to do work which our senior accountants can review. Allows us senior accountants to do work that our controllers can review, and our controller then takes ultimate responsibility for the financial information and puts it in front of you as a business owner to allow you to make good decisions. And when I say you as a business owner, that could include you and all your other trusted advisors. Because at the end of the day, to run a business successfully, you need a team. And we are part of that team. We can be a very, very, very important part of that team because we are making sure that your financial history is recorded, and we're doing work on a day-to-day basis to make sure your business is operating, like paying the bills, issuing invoices, and then we are giving you information so that you can look forward and decide where your business is going. But that information should be discussed with business partners, should be discussed with your banker, and in a lot of cases, it should be discussed with your fractional COO or fractional CFO. And our job is to make sure that that information is in really good shape and as accurate as it possibly can be based on the information we have available to us. So that when those decision makers are looking at the information, they don't have to worry about the accuracy. They just have to worry about how it affects the business and how it's going to make a difference to the decisions that they're planning to make. Our job is to provide you the information to make better decisions and take the pressure off of worrying, do I truly have a clear picture of our business? That's us as an outsourced accounting team. When I worked at my last company, before I started Protea back in South Africa, I was a part of a large accounting team. I reported to a CFO and I had a team below me. We had management accountants, I had tax specialist and HR manager, I had AP, AR, general ledger accountants, you name it, they were all there. Our responsibility there was to make sure the information was accurate, completed on time, so they could be delivered to the decision makers in the business to allow them to make good business decisions. That means us as outsourced accountants and us as an internal accounting team had the same role and the same goals. The benefit of an outsourced accounting team comes in because, generally speaking, small businesses can't afford a full accounting team. Generally speaking, there's not enough work in a small business to keep 3, 4, 5 people busy. Most of the time, and our average client size is 25 to 35 hours of work a month. But using a resource like us, you get the benefit of all those pieces without having to buy all the people. It's a great benefit. But we're still your accounting team, and our responsibilities and our objectives are the same as a big business's internal team. Our goal is to come in there and make sure you have good financial controls to protect your business. Our goal is to make sure that you're getting information on a timely basis. Our goals include making sure your information is as accurate as you allow us it to be accurate based on the information you share with us. Now, there is a little bit of a difference, right? I'm not there day to day. I can't see when you've gone and made that purchase. I need to actually have proof that you made it. Even when I was in a big company, I didn't know what other people were going on. I relied on meetings. Our management accountants had a direct line to the general managers of the business units, and they would meet on a regular basis to make sure they understood what's going on in their business, so they could come back with that information, make sure it has been reflected in the financial information to be as accurate as possible. There had to be communication. The same way as if you have an outsourced team, you need to have communication. You need to tell them what's going on, because there's no way they can't sniff it, right? They need the information to be able to make sure that it's in the financials, to make sure it's accurate and complete. And I've gone a little bit of a tangent, but I think it is helpful to set the scene. You need an accounting team. And I think sometimes we always get lost, like, oh, CFO is going to be that magic sauce that's just going to make this whole thing start ticking along perfectly. And that's possible. But that CFO cannot do their job unless they have good accounting information. And 100% means you need great bookkeeping. And it is why I get frustrated when people like, they're just a bookkeeper. That's absolute BS. A bookkeeper is one of the most, if not the most important person in the financial cycle, because they're making sure that history is being brought together in a way that people can read, that is accurate, that it's timely. Nobody else can do their job unless there's bookkeeping in place. So we don't want to undervalue that. But it is important to know that there is this role called a controller. Okay. I'm going to type in right here on ChatGPT right now. What is a controller? And they're going to give me a definition, right? I see. Spitting out answer at you, and it's giving me a bunch of key responsibilities, but we're going to start with just a pure definition based on ChatGPT 4.0. A controller, also known as a financial controller, is a senior level management responsible for overseeing the accounting and financial reporting function of the company. They play a critical role in ensuring that the company's financial records are accurate, complete, and in compliance with accounting standards and regulations. They play a critical role in ensuring that the company's financial records are accurate, complete, and in compliance with accounting standards. They go into a little bit of key responsibility, which is way more than the question I asked. But they talk about financial reporting, which is important. They talk about accounting oversight, which I think is really important, right? This is the one that I think gets lost in the mix. A controller really is, they're controlling the financial information, right? They manage the accounting on a day-to-day basis. They manage the accounting operations. So they're making sure the bookkeeper is recording that information, but they're also making sure that day-to-day transactions are occurring to keep your business running forward. So they're involved with accounts payable, accounts receivable, payroll, general ledger entries, reconciliation of accounts. And they're making sure that the team is operating efficiently and accurately. That's important. Another one of their responsibilities is focus on internal controls. Internal controls are really, really important, especially in the digital age that we live right now. The number of times you'll get an email like, hey, we've got new bank details. That's a warning bell for a controller. Ding, 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 ding. I need to reach out to that company and make sure this is real. Let me go Google them, get their telephone number, give them a call. Let's speak to somebody in the accounts receivable department. Let's verbally confirm that their bank details have changed and it's in line with the bank details I have received. They oversee the budgeting and forecasting process. They're the people who are building that information together. They're not the one throwing the strategic information into it. That's coming from your CFO, from your C-level executives, from your business owner. But they're taking that information, putting it in an understandable format and allowing you to build the budget. They're allowing you to build those forecasts so you have short-term ideas of what's happening to your cash flows. They bring the other departments together in that budgeting and forecast process. And bigger companies, they're there for the audit management. Us as your controller, we talk to your banker about the reporting information there. We talked about your insurance company about what they need. If you need a reviewed set of financials or a tax return done, we're having that communication, making sure that those providers have the right information. We're the conductors, making sure that all those requirements happen and happen at the right time. Controllers are very much involved with your cost management of your business. They're looking at the budget they prepared and said, hey, you said you're going to spend $10,000. We're at $11,000. What the heck is going on? Why is it more? What happened? Did we get budgeting wrong? Did you overspend? Did you change your mind? Or is there something with the contract and we have to go back and tell them, hey, you overcharged us? They have a critical role in understanding your costs and keeping you in a good space. And very much importantly, they are involved in financial analysis, providing that information. Yes, the different ratios. These are things that are important. Yes, some trends. Yes, some analysis. These are some risks we're identifying. We're seeing an uptick in your payroll costs. Health insurance went up higher than we expected. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to make changes? Can we talk to our brokers? They're going to give you the analysis to better run your business. Typically, in a big company, they're reporting to the CFO. In my world, we report to the proprietor or the general manager or the management team put in place by the proprietor, and that's our person. I've said this before, and I spent a ton of time on this last week. The CFO is very financial strategy and external relationships, while the controller is very internal, making sure the operations run effectively and smoothly, and that you're getting the information that you need to make those decisions. A lot of people will say that the controller at the end of the day is the backbone of the business. They control the financial operations. They make sure things run smoothly. They make sure the bookkeeper is doing a great job. They're making sure that they're getting information from different stakeholders. They're talking to procurement. They're talking to your winemaker. They're bringing the information from your head into a piece of paper to make sure it's accurate. We work in a team so that our account managers, our controllers can focus on making sure your financial operations are in place and effective, and to make sure the team's doing the job on time to give you that information when you need it. Controllers have a big job. I know it's vogue, it's cool, it's whatever you want to call it. What's that? My kids say fire? I don't know, whatever that is. To have an outsourced CFO. And honestly, if you have a good one who is doing their job, which is strategically focused and help you run that business, it can be a game changer. But what I see a lot of the time is people call themselves CFOs, but really they're just controllers with a bigger bill. And that's fine, because controllers are important. We've just gone over all the areas that they affect in your business. They will help you make better decisions. You need a good accounting team, which requires a really strong controller, somebody that can push the information forward in an efficient way, communicate clearly, and give you the information when you need it in the right format to allow you to make those good decisions. If you are a small business owner, a CFO can make a difference in your life. But what you probably need is a really good bookkeeper. A step up from that is a really good accounting team. And quality outsourced companies like Protea, like I've got a handful of others, especially outside of the accounting space, because I get to refer other people to good accountants on a regular basis. You can find some of those on Protea Conversations, or you can reach out to me and I can give you those names as well. Pick the industry, I probably know somebody. But coming in, the outsourced accounting, the CAS environment is better than it's ever been. There's a ton of knowledge, a ton of experience, and people have set their business up in a way that they're giving you that whole accounting team. Here it is. Here's your bookkeeper. Here's your controller. A lot of them have CFO services. He has an FP&A person. He has just an admin person to help you through the day-to-day progress. They can make a major difference to your business as long as you are willing to trust them, see them as part of your team, and a partner in your success. They will make a big difference. Controllers can do a lot for you. So find a good controller, but understand they need the support of a bookkeeper. And there's a very good chance, especially if you're in the growth cycle, you want to take your business forward, you most likely need a very strategically minded CFO to help you make those good decisions. The controllers are taking on the financial reporting responsibilities. They're overseeing your full accounting team. They're making sure you have internal controls in place that you don't overspend, you don't lose out to fraud. They are the conductors in the budgeting and forecast process, bringing departments and ideas together, taking that strategic plan, putting it into understandable format, and helping you build out a budget. A lot of the time, they're helping you with compliance matters, that be tax or any sort of audit responsibilities to your bank, whoever else that needs it. They're very involved in cost management, and they're able to provide you the financial analysis to understand your information so you can see where things are going off the plan. A controller will help you run your business better if you're willing to listen. Find yourself a good accounting team, listen to them, use that information to make good decisions, and drive your business forward. And accounting is not a grudge purchase. Accounting records the history and provides you with the day-to-day operations to keep your business running, and gives you the tools to look forward and make good decisions about the future of your business. I know it feels like a grudge purchase. Our number one referral source comes in because there's a stick involved. Your books aren't good enough. We can't do the tax return. Your books aren't good enough. We can't give you cash. We need to stop looking at it that way. Smart business owners get a good accounting team in early. They use that information to run their business. They use that information to make good decisions. Find yourself a good business partner within a good accounting team. If you're in the wine industry, reach out to me. Protea Financial. Zane Stevens at proteafinancial.com. Easy. I'm happy to have the conversation, see if we're a good fit for you, introduce you to other people if we're not a good fit, or even discuss hiring your own person internally if that's what you want to do. I want everybody to have good accounting. I want you to understand the importance of accounting and how to use that information to make better decisions. So I'm always available for a conversation. But find yourself a good partner. Make sure you have good people in place, from accounting to bankers to insurance to attorneys. Build a great team around you. Give yourself the best chance to be successful in business. Being a business owner is lonely, but you can make it a little bit easier if you put a good team around you. Trust your accounting team, trust your controller. They're the ones that are driving it forward for you, and they care about your success. Have a great Tuesday. See you next week. Be kind. Goodbye.